Hello everyone, this is Farzana for Farzana's Law, and thank you so much for joining me today in this brand new vlog where I'll be sharing with you all my top lessons and key reflections of the week as a trainee solicitor based in London. So if you're interested in this kind of content, make sure to like, share and subscribe because I like to make this content on a weekly basis, making sure that I'm actually exploring my life and also growing myself as much as possible every single daily basis. And somehow I hopefully pray that I'm inspiring you as well to do the same, because I believe that if you're not growing, you're just basically existing on this life and you're not living actually. So let's get started with today's vlog. But before that, if you want to check out all of my products, courses and services, everything is always linked in the description box below underneath all of my videos, so check those out if you're interested as well. So let's get started with this week's vlog, and I want to share with you all a specific lesson that I basically have learned, and that is the fact that it is okay to make mistakes whenever you're actually working on something really important and a very important conveyancing matter, or whether there might be an immigration matter or a family matter, etc. It doesn't matter what kind of a work or a task you're doing on every single daily basis in the office. It's okay to make mistakes, because if you do not make mistakes, then of course you're not literally learning the job properly and you're not understanding what are the areas that are very important for you to keep an eye on, or what are the things that you should be careful of. And of course, some mistakes should not be, of course, mistakes are not meant to be repeated over and over again, the same mistake, but making mistakes in general, is a good thing, because that means you're basically learning. So never be afraid at work to make any mistakes, because without making mistakes, you're not literally learning. And I believe that this is basically, I did not make necessarily any mistakes when it came to work this particular week that has gone by, but I just basically got this idea for the fact that the more actually when someone makes mistakes, the more that particular mistake or a lesson gets ingrained in the brain much more effectively than more than what you would have learned it from watching a webinar or maybe reading a book or listening to someone, whatever that might be. But when you make a mistake and you realize it and you learn it basically, then it actually ingrains in your brain much faster and you tend to remember it more as well. So in case if you get a similar kind of a matter or a similar kind of a file in the future, you will specifically remember that particular thing that you did in the last file and you try not to actually repeat that again. So I believe that this is basically what kind of a job being a trainee solicitor is. At the end of the day, you're training. So you're basically getting trained by your most qualified solicitors or by the most qualified supervisors in the office. So it's very important that you're taking into account their advice, their tips and tricks, because they have done the job before you, way before you. That can be 5 years before you, 10 years before you. So yeah, it's better to always listen to them, what they're saying, but at the same time, do not be afraid to make mistakes, because you learn from them faster as well. And whenever you try to teach yourself as well, I feel like that making mistakes does help. It's like when I used to go to university, I would make so many mistakes on the past papers, on the exam papers, and then I would notice what mistake I was making, and then that would basically help me and understand that if I got the similar kind of a question later on in the exam or in the mock exam, whatever that might be, then I would try to not repeat the same mistake over and over again. So I highly encourage for everyone to actually learn from your mistakes, try to learn yourself, teach yourself as much as possible, because that really does truly help. And always remember that if you feel like that at some point or another, whenever you're reading something which is very difficult or you don't understand something, everyone has gone through some kind of a hardship or a turmoil when they were learning as well. So never ever think that you cannot achieve the best potential, or you cannot become the best solicitor, or you cannot become the best in your profession basically, because that's not the case, because everybody had to go through A, B, C, D just like you. So never ever actually push yourself or make yourself feel bad or guilty for the fact that, oh, I'm so upset for the fact that I'm having to spend so much time on this particular document, or reading this particular document, or reading off this particular file because I don't really understand certain concepts or certain techniques or certain definitions or certain concepts, etc. So it's very important that you're not putting yourself too much hardship, too much stress on yourself, because that's actually what it leads to many kind of potential chronic diseases, unfortunately, because you keep putting yourself this much stress, this much pressure that I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to finish this off before I leave, otherwise I'm gonna feel so guilty for the entire night, for the 8 hours I'm not gonna be able to sleep. So these kind of situations should be avoided as much as possible, because you do deserve a good life, you do deserve a stress-free life. life. And whenever you clock out from the office or from wherever you're working, it's very important that you are giving yourself enough time off to actually take care of yourself, because if you do not take care of yourself, then you can never ever perform your best as well. So I highly encourage anyone who's currently working in an office, whether it might be as a trainee solicitor or otherwise, it doesn't matter. Make sure they're giving yourself enough time off. You're learning from your mistakes and you try to internalize all the lessons and try not to repeat those again. And basically that will help you in achieving a better potential and achieving and progressing in your career basically. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, then please do like, share and subscribe, because I like to make this content on a weekly basis, making sure that I'm covering up all kinds of lessons, reflections and evaluations of my performance as a trainee solicitor based in London, because I believe that this kind of content hopefully is helping someone out there in achieving the best potential as well, whether they might be academically, professionally, career-wise and in personal life as well. And if that did, then please do like, share, subscribe, and of course you can reach out to me privately at farzanaslow@gmail.com by email as well. I'll see you guys over there.